You got different offices that are hotter and colder.
Tickets for next week's game?
Mr. Curtis, go
Hi.
Hurricanes.
How are you?
Well, didn't we put in the budget to have this freaking dealt with, didn't we?
We have a meeting tomorrow. Do we have an agenda for that? Or send it to me? What did I get? You sure you send it to me? Can you resend it to me, please? If not, I'm gonna have to go crazy looking for it.
Oh, is this the same brownie
Thank
group
you.
that did the
Hey,
thing
what
at
happened to the bar?
Billy?
Oh, that's Jody.
No, but these rebels were gonna come every Monday. We had to call them.
64, I believe their troop number is, 564.
They did
If it is,
the.
if it's them, that's
Yes. That was the. All those songs rolled together.
They did all the branches of the service.
That was so good.
Ended up with the shores of Tripoli for the Marines and stuff.
I loved it.
And then they sing that they did the tune about when the Army Navy game that the Navy does at the end, sink the Army, they didn't say that though.
So good. That was. I could have heard that again over and
Yeah,
over.
me too. Whoever invited him, it made a lot of sense. Hey, Billy Bain, I got time to go get a cup of coffee?
No. No.
It's all right, I got half a
We're all
cup.
going to take a picture on Veterans Day. You know that? It was the first, I don't know how long that all of us were together on Veterans.
Nobody told me, and I stood around for a long time.
It was their fault, two men. You know how it goes.
I stood around and talked for a long time. I didn't know. I don't know. Nobody offered us to take a picture.
No, not while you were there. No, but after. And I said, well, where is he? And I looked all over the friggin' place for you.
But I stayed a long time.
Of course you were there. I know you did. You were there the whole time.
I mean, why did they? Whose idea was that?
I have no idea. Probably Wally. Wally Clark, I would guess.
What happened to Jaime? I mean, Councilman Petrolanga.
He's getting a cup of coffee.
No. Call the roll.
Mayor Bain?
I'm here.
Vice Mayor Mitchell?
Here.
Councilman Best?
Present.
Councilwoman Zapata?
President.
Councilman Petrolanda?
Here.
Please stand for invocation. Councilman Bobby Best has it tonight.
St. Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle. Be our defense against wickedness and snares of the devil. Hail, Holy Prince, by the power of Almighty God, cast into hell Satan and all the other evil spirits which prowl the world, seeking the ruin of souls. Amen.
Amen. We have tonight some special guests. The Girl Scouts are to come up and say the pledge, and they have a little presentation. Come on in. Go ahead, line up.
564.
Yeah. They're doing good. They're nervous. The pledge is this: we're going to face the flag now. Okay? Face the flag. Hold it for them so they
Tom can hold.
put your right hand over your chest. Right? Am I right? That's your wrong hand. I understand. That's the other hand. The other hand. No, you're right. No, the other one. I'm talking to you. Yes, you're fine. Everybody. The other. There you go. Give you a badge for that one. Now, one of you all say, start it. One of you say, allegiance to the flag, States of America, Right. All right. Very good. Better have the.
Just dying to go and sing with the girls.
I want to sit down.
I know.
You're damn right. What the hell? I am what I am.
What is it?
Okay.
No,
You have something to say, right? Go ahead.
He's just dying to do this.
Learning about wonders of water. This is our Brownie Journey by Girl Scout Troop 564. Girl Scout Troop 564 learn many things about water. We need a special poster to show what we did. Using our red water drops, we learned that ice is a very important part of the water process. We need ice to keep things cold and to make ice cream. Using our water drops, we learned that cold water is necessary to drink and stay refreshed. We made special lemonade with our cold water.
Really? Special lemonade.
Mayor makes that a lot.
Using our yellow water drops, we learned that rainbows are a special effect after a rainfall. We all love to share our special rainbow sightings. Using our green water drops, we learned from Miami-Dade County Water Department to save water. We've learned to take a shower in 5 minutes. Using our blue water drops, we've learned that hot water is very important. We use it to make tea, coffee, cook, clean, and even take a bath. Using our purple water drops, we learned about dry ice. We made special dry ice water bubbles, and it was really fun. As Girl Scouts, we would like to remind you to save water and to use resources wisely. We will give you a token to remind you. Please put it near your sink or near your shower and keep us in mind when you save water.
That's it.
No, she was with me.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Very nice, huh? Very good. Okay. Now you're going to hand out something to everybody. Go ahead. When they get done, I want them to come back up here.
And then come back up and
Come on, come with me.
I'm thinking how I know. Just hung up because I took But you don't have the other ones, right?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Give them the. Thank you. I got 2 of them now.
for your 5-minute shower.
No, it's about right.
Anything to go back?
I mean, if I wash everything, it's dead. Okay. Come on, line up here. All right, come here. I want y'all to give your name and what grade you're in. Okay, your name and what grade you're in. And Councilwoman Zapata's going to give you a pin to take home with you. American flag. Okay, your name?
Beo Rodriguez. I'm in 2nd grade.
Very good.
I am.
Your name?
I'm Chloe Oliva, and I'm in 2nd grade.
2nd grade. Great. Thank you.
I'm Zoya, and I'm in 2nd grade.
Thank you.
I'm Allison Fink, and I'm in 2nd grade.
All right.
I'm Isabella Benitez, and I'm in 2nd grade.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm Sofia Iglesias, and I'm in 3rd grade. I'm Lily Reyes, and I am in 3rd grade.
My name is Maya G, and I'm in kindergarten. My name is Caitlin Rodriguez, and I am 1st grade.
1st grade.
My name is Maria, and I'm 8, and I'm in 2nd grade.
My name is Camila Cardoni, and I'm in 3rd grade. My name is Emily, and I'm in 2nd grade.
My name's Annabelle Gomez, and I'm in 3rd grade. My name is Sophia Estrada, and I'm in 3rd grade.
My name is Sofia Garcia, and I am in 3rd grade.
All right. Well, thank you very much. If moms and dads want to take a picture. Does anybody want to take a picture? Come on.
Vice Mayor, get out.
Vice Mayor is exercising class here.
The back of the photo with the girls. They were all up instead of. Smile, girls.
Smile.
Joking.
All right? Thank you, girls. Thank you very much.
Coming up?
They told me, the girl said that they already got one the last one.
Science project. Mayor, before they leave, I got something I want to say.
Thank you so much.
Through the chair, if I might, before the young ladies leave, I'd like to thank them so much for their participation in the Veterans Day thing on Saturday morning. And I think everybody in the crowd was touched by what you guys did. Thank you very much.
All right. You got a song to sing or something? No. They just want to stay here and block the people can't see me.
Billy, let them stay.
They're welcome to stay, of course. Okay. Good.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here,
Great.
guys,
Thank
ladies.
You very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah?
Aww.
You do dance with her?
How cute.
That's what it was.
Unreal.
Who doesn't know Miss Hall?
Right. Who would?
Is this all, Erica, this is all we have signed up?
Yes, and there's nobody for agenda stuff.
Ugh. Hey. Come on, man.
Right.
Move it. We got a ball game. Carolina.
Oh, the Miami game. Well.
Well.
I don't want to say
I know
nothing,
that.
No, I kind of like.
I'm going to get in trouble.
Oh,
You don't tape it?
Chief, you have the floor.
wife knows how to do that. But she won't do
Thank you,
it.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council. Before I begin, Councilman Best, you said the prayer to St. Michael's the Archangel, and I don't know if you know this, but he's the patron saint of police officers.
I do know that, Chief. Thank you very much for bringing that up.
Before I begin with the Officer of the Month award, I'd like to present the two newest members of the Miami Springs Police Department family, and that's Public Service Aide Christopher Bond and Public Service Aide Ryan Arbello. Gentlemen, come on up. Both young men are residents of the city of Miami Springs, and you may recognize PSA Bond. He's got big shoes to fill. He is the son of retired police
Well, actually,
chief.
I thought that Chief came back reincarnated. I swear. I honestly thought that was him again.
Reincarnated.
And what's funny, when I first started here, Ryan called me a couple times. He was about 16 years old, very interested in riding as an observer. And I said, Ryan, we don't have a program yet, and besides, you know, you would need to be at least 18 years of age. But things have a way of working themselves out. You know, he's graduated high school, and we had the position open for public service aide, and then both Chris and Ryan applied, and lo and behold, he's here, and now he's riding on his own, helping out the citizens of the city of Miami Springs. So,
Nice.
gentlemen,
Very nice.
I welcome you, and I wish you a very long and happy and healthy career with the Miami Springs Police Department. If you wish to continue with us, I hope you do. Good luck.
Congratulations,
Welcome.
guys.
Thank you.
And I forgot to mention Ryan's family is also here in the audience. So, thank you very much. Welcome.
Where are they at? Where are
All here.
The whole
the whole row.
rows, 2 rows.
2 rows. Oh my goodness.
With that said, I'd like to bring up Sergeant George Irizarry, who nominated Officer Mike Garcia for the Officer of the Month recognition. George?
Good evening, all. On September 3rd of this year, at approximately 7:15 p.m., Officer Garcia was conducting an area check in the area of Crane Avenue in Ludlam when he was flagged down by a citizen who had observed what he described as a male striking a female with a metallic object on her head, and they were on the train tracks over Okeechobee Road on the bridge. The witness advised Officer Garcia that the male was swinging the object as if he was swinging a baseball bat and hit the female at least twice. Officer Garcia immediately responded to the scene. He saw the male punching the female and called for backup. Officer Garcia then ran onto the train tracks, onto the bridge to confront the assailant. As Officer Garcia approached, he saw what he identified as a machete in the gentleman's hand. Officer Garcia saw that the female was bleeding from severe lacerations to her head. Officer Garcia observed the gentleman try to conceal the machete behind his back. Officer Garcia maintained his demeanor, calmly advised other units that were en route that the male was armed with a machete and requested fire rescue for the injured female. Officer Garcia drew his firearm and gave the male verbal commands to drop the machete. After several commands, the male dropped the machete. The male was then ordered to the ground, where he remained until backup officers arrived. Officer Lopez, unfortunately he's not here today, was the first unit on the scene. He immediately ran out onto the train tracks and without hesitation handcuffed the gentleman. Officer Malay, who also, she's out on bereavement leave, she arrived shortly after and got out her own personal trauma kit and ran out to the train tracks to assist as necessary. Once she arrived, she was able to stop the bleeding on the female, who was coming in and out of consciousness. Once the female was bandaged up on the train tracks, all 3 officers escorted the subject, the handcuffed subject, and the injured female off the train tracks. After that, we secured the scene because this was not in Miami Springs jurisdiction. This happened to be Hialeah's jurisdiction. So we preserved the scene for the other agency. This was absolutely a complete team effort in what was otherwise a tense situation. Credit goes to Officer Lopez and Officer Malay for risking their lives and to run out onto the train tracks, and Officer Garcia for risking their lives in what is otherwise a very active train tracks, as the residents here know, are familiar with that train crossing. Special credit must be given to Officer Garcia for the discipline, courage, and heroism he displayed, because the gentleman would have, in all likelihood, killed a female had Officer Garcia not taken swift actions. Therefore, I recommended Officer Garcia be nominated for Officer of the Month for September 2017. His actions reflect greatly on his professionalism, the police profession as a whole, this agency, and the city of Miami Springs.
Good job, Mike. Thank you.
Hey, Mike, you want to say anything? Mike, would you like to say anything? Talk to me all the time.
Thank you.
You have family here? Anybody here you want to recognize? Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Mayor. That's
Thank
all I
you.
have for right now.
Thank you.
Chief.
Dang. If you all want to leave, you can leave. If you want to stay, you can stay. You got it. Take care.
Thanks for coming. Thank you very much. Good to see you guys. Take care.
I will do it, then move some meeting.
Thank you.
Get rid of half the room.
What's that?
Get rid of half the room.
No, they don't know whether. I've been there. They don't know whether they're going, whether to stay, or they feel it's inappropriate.
Did the right thing.
Thank you. God, it's tough.
It's hard.
Okay, we have, we did the flag.
Next mile.
Where are we at?
B. 4B.
Okay, is the Milam family here? Come on up.
Okay. Hi, how are you? How are you?
All right, here we go. We have a certificate of appreciation standard. This is presented to Max Milam and the Milam's Market. In recognition for the program they had for donations to help any of the needy. I don't like that word, but anybody that needs help during the holidays. They raised $3,000 from the program was raised $3,000, and they donated the $3,000 to Miami Springs. And the city has come up with, was it 30? What do you
Gift
have?
cards.
How
yeah.
many?
It was 30 gift cards, wasn't it?
30 gift cards to give out in the recreation department and the senior center. What are you raising your hand for? You're not a senior yet, are you?
No, but she runs a place.
Don't tell her. So it's they donate money to our city, and through their help and our gratitude to them to give to our city, and it's presented to this 13th day of November 2017. Tell your father or your uncle? Yeah. Well, there's so many of you. I mean, they could have 70 grocery stores. But go ahead and put that in your place, and thank you very much for what you guys did for us.
Well, I would just like to say that, Milam's was nothing more than a facilitator on this. This money was donated by the generous residents of Miami Springs and our customers. And so, I mean, we really can't take credit for it. We just were the facilitator on this. So really, I'll tell you this: we do these donations in all of our stores, and the Miami Springs residents, time and time again, I'm so impressed by how giving they are and their heart for other people. You guys really have a very special community here. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Very nice.
Thank you. Thank you. Got it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, what was the last name again? Is the Alvarado family here? Alvarado family? Gosh, I got the name right and they're not here. No matter how humble the Milam's family wants to be, they still put together, they don't want to take the credit, but they still dedicate their time to help the community any way they can. So it's well deserved.
Well said, Mayor.
We did everything right?
C.
We go to open forum.
No. C.
You have a
4C.
No, they're not here
Oh,
tonight.
Yard of the Month, they're not here.
I just did the yard of the month.
No, 4C.
One before that.
They're not here tonight.
They're not, C, oh, well, I knew that, I'm sorry.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they couldn't make the presentation. Evidently, he's on call the doctor again, so we'll try to get him here. What are you laughing at, Nori? Yeah, no, he's not doing that, Nori.
You're bad.
Wow. All right, we got to go now to the
Open forum.
the agenda order of business.
The 3, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Item number 8C is taken off the agenda tonight.
8C.
8C. And I'm gonna play it by ear about moving up 12B because I don't see the person here for 12B.
Yeah, they're here.
No, they're not.
Jody?
Yeah, she is. Jody's here.
Jody's
Jody.
okay. 12B. We'll after open forum we'll allow 12B to go forward.
Okay.
You said 8C is being.
That's what I have here. That was told. Am I right?
Yeah, 4C, the presentation on medical marijuana.
Yeah, but you gave me this agenda. It's written down item 8C.
No, it's 4C. Sorry about that. It's 4C.
So 8C is still on the agenda?
Yep.
Yes, that's the purchasing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's 4C.
See what you put there?
Yeah. Make one mistake a year.
Fine. Boy. Okay, open forum. We have Joni.
Joanne.
Joanne.
Sorry.
Jesus, Mary.
It's too loud today.
Hi. Hello. I'm Joanne Koski. I live at 192 Pinecrest Drive. And I'm here tonight because I want to alert the council and the city staff to a problem that occurred during the 5K charity walk on November 5th, and also to hopefully give a few suggestions so it doesn't happen again. The route of the 5K walk effectively barricaded my neighborhood behind police barricades. There was no ingress, there was no egress, there was no way in, and there was no way out. And it was a problem. For your edification, it started at the Curtis Mansion, it went up Curtis Parkway, came down westward to Esplanade and Deer Run. So you can see by this that I'm in here and there was no way in or out. I became alerted to this at about 8 o'clock on Saturday morning when the air conditioning repairman, who I was so excited coming to my house, called and said, Joanne, I can't get to your house. I'm on Curtis Parkway and there's a police barricade. I said, well, go over to Westward. You know, I'm sure we can get you in the back way. Went to Westward. Westward is blocked. I walked the route. I'm blocked in. There was no way in or no way out. I talked to the officer that was at Westward in Albatross, and he said, sorry, there's nothing I can do. It's going to be 2.5 or 3 hours. That's not okay. You know, it's a good thing that the walk was happening, and but it shouldn't happen again. And if somebody uses just a little bit of common sense, they won't barricade neighborhoods. In this case, you know, we could do an out and a back, or you could do some other way, or have the public service people have one point where people can get in and get out. It wasn't a race. They could have stopped the walkers, let a service vehicle through, or let me out, and then stop, you know, let the walkers back again. So I just want to be sure that this doesn't happen again. When I talked to the police, they said that they were public service and that it was probably Public Works who came up with the route. So I talked to Public Works, and they're great. And they investigated, and they said, no, Joanne, we just supply the barricades. It's City Hall that does the route. And they gave me contact. I did 2 voicemails and 1 email, and I haven't heard anything. So I'm here tonight to say that this was a big inconvenience. Citizens should not have to be barricaded behind police barricades in their own home. If there's a route, it should be published in advance. If there can be a point of ingress and egress, it should be. Or if it doesn't need to have a complicated route out and back, think about that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's everybody who wished to speak on open forum.
Joan.
Joanne.
So we'll go to, okay, we'll go ahead and do the council minutes, and then we'll bring up 12B after that. Council minutes, 6A, October 23rd, 2017, regular council minutes.
Through the chair, motion to move.
Second.
There's an update that.
Yes, I need to correct the minutes on page 3. The first bullet point under the noise ordinance for second reading, I need to clarify that it's the daytime decibel levels be changed to a continuous sound measured at an excess of 70 decibels, and then eliminate the rest of the sentence after that.
Okay.
Through the chair, retraction and movement again to move the item.
As amended.
Inclusive of.
As amended.
As amended.
Got a second again?
I'll second it.
Call the vote.
Vice Mayor Mitchell?
Yes.
Councilman Best?
Aye.
Councilwoman Zapata?
Yes.
Councilman Petrolanda?
Yes.
Mayor Bain?
Yes. 10A, we're going to go to 10A. I'm sorry. 10A. Where's her item at? The young lady's item.
12B.
8B.
Okay, we'll go to 12B. Come on up. Boy, this guy doesn't know how to.
You can take it off. Can you hear me without it?
No, you have to speak into it so the public can hear you.
Hello?
Hello.
Okay, hi.
Hi.
I'm Jody Finver. I am the Miami-Dade coordinator for a nonprofit called Solar United Neighbors. In the state of Florida, we're created out of partnership with the League of Women Voters Florida. I had sent an email of introduction to you all. And our organization helps homeowners in particular areas, geographic areas, pool their purchasing power and obtain bulk discounts on their solar installations. So my job is to help homeowners go solar, and I teach them about solar technology and solar basics, solar economics, how you can finance systems, how quickly systems pay themselves off. We are a neutral third-party advocate. We don't promote any installers or particular products or even means of financing. We just facilitate solar co-ops, and we were created out of the minds of two 12-year-old boys who saw an inconvenient truth, went home and told their parents, we need to go solar, can we do it? And it was too expensive at the time, and one of the boys' moms said, talk to some neighbors, and maybe if we do it together, we can get a better price. And they talked to some neighbors, and they got a better price. And that was the nation's first solar co-op, and it kept Walter's mom, Anya, so busy that she created a nonprofit that became an even larger nonprofit that spread across many states. And we're here in Florida. We've done 19 co-ops up and down the state. Usually we do 6 in a state per year. Then there's Miami-Dade. I'm doing 6 co-ops over the course of the year through a grant from the Green Corridor. And my co-ops that are coming up is called Western Miami-Dade. It's not easy to divide Miami into 6 parts, so I try to keep municipalities together. And Miami Springs is in my next co-op, and I would love to be able to do an information session the week of January the 10th, any night that is available at any facility you have available that has seating of more than 50 people, like 50 to 100. I do a PowerPoint presentation that's 90 minutes long, including many questions and answers from homeowners. And my job is just to make it easy for people to go solar. The co-op members are the ones who choose an installer. We're having a selection committee tomorrow night, and then the next night for our 2 open co-ops right now. And they will be reviewing very competitive bids, as well as a spreadsheet that we put together that compares everything apples to apples to apples, so that they can make educated decisions on behalf of the entire co-op. All of their roofs, all of their hopes, wishes, and dreams and aspirations for what they're looking for in an installer. And then those installers begin to reach out to the homeowners, submit estimates to them, and at that point in time, a homeowner decides whether they want to go solar or not. It's no cost to join a co-op. There's no obligation to go solar through the co-op. So this is a public service and educational platform that we perform, and I would love Miami Springs to be involved because you have really nice sunny roofs.
Oh yeah. We just got to coordinate it with the city.
Yeah.
Find,
Just,
find,
uh,
find,
Just
Do we
offer
need a
up.
motion for
find a
that?
find a venue for them. Yeah.
If you want to put a motion to it or just consensus, a consensus is fine.
Consensus
We
is
all
good.
want to
This
do
is
it.
fine, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
You just have to contact the city manager, and they'll find your room that week of the 10th of January.
Okay.
Jody, could I ask a question?
You sure can.
What do you need from the city other than providing information? How does the city help?
Well, if the city
I mean,
is-
other than providing a forum, you know,
Yeah,
a meeting.
it's organizing, helping me organize, promote it to all of your constituents, all the residents that live in Miami Springs. Most of what we do is through word of mouth. We have a Facebook page, we have events, we link all of our partners that work with us, like the Clio Institute and Tropical Audubon. They're all linked to these particular events, and then they share them with the people who follow them as well. Please go to Facebook and like our page.
Well, I think through the chair, if I might,
Go ahead.
thank you for that, and I applaud your where you're moving, where you're going with this. I think the city with our public information officer and stuff could move things along for you and help you in that area.
Great.
As
And
far
if
as-
you all have sunny roofs, by all means, if they're naked, join the co-op.
Okay.
Dress them up with panels.
Okay.
You'll save money.
You could coordinate through the manager.
I will.
And he'll probably get you with Tammy and Anna.
Oh, we'll get it hooked up at the community center
Yeah.
one
Okay.
of those nights.
Now,
sure.
Jody,
you.
And
Jody,
we'll-
let me ask you a question. Is
Okay.
this the same, the cities, other cities that have adopted this right now are like Coral Gables, am I correct?
No, there have been cities who have worked with us. Miami-Dade passed a resolution, huzzah, in support of the co-ops. The city of Miami did the same as well. Then we have cities that have also, in preparation for the co-ops and to be supportive of resilient building, have passed ordinances that waive permitting fees. So Coral Gables did it, the South Miami did it, the city of Miami did it, Miami Beach did it. Then a homeowner in our co-op presented it to Miami Shores. They waived permitting fees, and Cutler Bay is about to do the same.
Yeah, I had heard about that, and I'm asking her just because maybe that's something we should keep in mind as an incentive for the residents. This stems from Daniela Levine Cave's resolution originally with the county, correct?
Yes, she did. She did a resolution, and then Mayor Regalado and Commissioner Ken Russell did a resolution for the city of Miami. Then the other cities passed ordinances, and then one of our homeowners presented it to Councilwoman Birch in Miami Shores, and they were just supposed to have a conversation about it, and they waived permitting fees that night. So it's because most of the people, by the time they go solar, have done so many energy efficiency upgrades on their home that this is a small little perk that says you support resilience and you want to put the sunshine to work.
Joanne, if I might mention, the editor of the River Cities Gazette is sitting right to your left. You might want to have a chat with him before you leave chambers tonight.
Okay.
It's right here. This good-looking man right here.
Tom Curtis is
Thank
his
you so
name.
much.
Just a point of clarification, Mayor and Council. The ordinance, I don't want there to be confusion among the community, so the ordinance that's attached as part of Ms. Finver's presentation is South Miami's ordinance requiring solar on roofs, which is not.
No, we're not
So,
doing that.
and she's correct in that many cities, including South Miami, have waived permitting fees, but I just don't want there to be confusion that the ordinance that's part of the agenda package.
I will submit the correct one. I clicked download because that's part of it. I'm not asking you. That would be great if you did it, but it's waiving permitting fees is more in the co-op thing. I will get you the correct copy. Apologies for that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Have a good evening.
Thanks, Joanne.
Thank you.
Haiti, good clarification, by the way.
Okay, we have another one. We'll go. Let's do the consent agenda.
Consent agenda. These items are funded and or budgeted. Recommendation, 9A, recommendation by Police Department that council approves an expenditure to North American Rescue in the amount of $3,476.50 for trauma kits to include trauma shears and hemostatic bandages for police officers. These funds qualify for expenditure from the Police Law Enforcement Trust Fund as funds are budgeted in the fiscal year 17-18 budget. 9B, recommendation by Police Department that council approve an expenditure to CDW Government utilizing National IPA Technology Solutions Contract 130733 in the amount of $5,000 for a Dell PowerEdge server, as these funds were approved in the fiscal year 17-18 budget pursuant to Section 3111E5 of the City Code and qualify for expenditure from the Police Law Enforcement Trust Fund. 9C, a resolution of the Mayor and Council of the City of Miami Springs, Florida, approving an amendment to an agreement with Greater Miami Caterers Incorporated for senior nutrition programs, providing for authorization and providing for an effective date. 9D, a resolution of the Mayor and City of Miami Springs, Florida, approving Ballpark Maintenance, Inc. to perform field repairs at PB Dove, providing for authorization and providing for an effective date.
I'll entertain a motion.
To the chair, motion to move 9A through and including 9D.
I got a first and a second. Call a vote.
Vice Mayor Mitchell?
Yes.
Councilman Best?
Aye.
Councilwoman Zapata?
Yes.
Councilman Petrolano?
Yes.
Mayor Bain?
Yes, I was requested earlier that, I know nobody signed up for it, but 10A, about the designation of the Westford Drive path. Is anybody here to speak on that? Nobody?
Mike.
Mike, do you want to speak? Because I was told earlier in the meeting to push it forward.
He's a little talk.
Oh.
The reason I think this should be passed, he is a legend like Jason Taylor. And I'm sorry to bring up a former Dolphin player to bring that as an example. So I hope it passed tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to go to...
You want to do it?
Well, we got to do 10A or the resolution?
You just said it.
Well, I was just going to go in order. I just thought there was people that wanted to speak on it.
Okay, so we'll come back to
We're
it?
going to come back to it.
Okay.
We'll go in order. We're going to go to... I'm jumping all over the place here.
I know it.
I don't care if you're...
Oh, you're
how
fine.
I'm
You're fine.
8A?
8A.
What was 8? 12. I want to go to 12A. 12A.
Unbelievable.
Good for you.
Then we'll get back in order a little bit. Did you want it? Are you here to speak on anything in particular? The gentleman there. You here for anything particular to talk about? Oh, okay. Okay. I give everybody their time. I just want to know.
Hello, I'm Carl Bithorn, president of the Optimist Club. I live at 86 Truxton. We're here to get approval for a community event that we've done the last couple of years. We usually do it in September, but because of the rainy season, we decided to move it back to February, which we had originally done in the past. We're looking for February 10th, and if anybody's been to Barbecue Throwdown, you know it's a very big community event. We have used the money that we've raised from them to donate to a lot of different youth organizations, youth soccer, Little League, high school soccer, high school baseball, high school wrestling, high school football, the Chad Tuff Foundation, the Daniela Foundation, Boy Scouts, Silver Air Patrol, Archery, Sebastian Strong, Red Cross, different organizations, including youth organizations and like Red Cross when you had the hurricanes. We did donate that when it happened in Houston, different things. So we have used, and we've probably donated through the 2 barbecues that we've had in the last couple of years, probably donated $6,000 or $7,000. So, and also this year we're looking to sponsor the 5K run that was in conjunction with us last year. We're going to go ahead and sponsor it, so we'd like to combine it together. I have Elaine Martin here, who was the chair of that. Tony Silva, who's the chair of our Barbecue Throwdown, was a little bit under the weather this morning, so he wasn't able to make it. As you can see, I came straight from work. Work is always getting in the way of my volunteer work. But anyway, we're shooting for February 10th, which we hope the weather will be nice and it'll be a little bit cooler. We should, hopefully the rain won't come. We are asking for the in-kind services for both the 5K run and the Barbecue Throwdown, being we're sponsoring both. Which I guess would include Public Works and the police. I don't know the exact total. I think the last time was in the range of 4,000, 5,000. I know it's a lot, but the Optimist Club, we have always helped the city, and over the years have probably contributed $1 million over the last 40-something years or 50 years that we've been in existence, I bet, in conjunction working with the city. So it's not asking much, and all that money that you're in, the in-kind service that you donate, if you do, goes right back to the kids. So that's what we're looking at. We're looking at February 10th. I think everybody's familiar with our barbecue throwdown.
Through the chair, a question for the manager. We have some contingency funds for this type of activity in the budget.
We have budgeted in council's budget $2,000 for the Optimus barbecue for next year.
Is that what we gave them last year?
Excuse me?
Is that what we gave them the last time that they conducted it?
Yeah, usually every year we budget $2,000 for the Optimus.
All right.
Does that cover what he's asking?
No.
Well, I'd have to get with the chief and get I think we got your event application today, so we can determine how much work is involved for Public Works and Police to see what the in-kind's going to be.
Where are you going to hold this at?
Circle.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that.
Thank you.
We'd like to basically do it the same way we did the Relay for Life, do the half closure. And
Of the circle?
In the circle, yeah.
Okay, okay.
The gazebo and the circle is just a perfect space for that, for what we're going to do. And we'll just, won't close the whole circle. We'll just do the half thing where you close off, where you can't go around Curtis Parkway.
Gotcha.
Which is even better too, because I know the farmers market will be there, so people can walk back and forth. So we'll be actually helping the farmers market, and hopefully they'll be helping us.
Okay.
Can you live with twice of what we have in place for that?
Say it again.
$4,000. Would that work?
I don't know. I don't know what the cost would be.
Why don't you make the motion if you're...
Motion to move for the Optimus Club barbecue, $4,000.
I second that.
Okay.
Okay, I'm pretty sure in the past, I don't think you ever budgeted $2,000 for us in the past. We just.
Yep,
I think we did.
Yes,
That's
we
why I
did.
asked the question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
4,000 is the motion.
Okay, you got a second. I would like the motion to be, in my mind, to cover everything, what you're saying. Like the motion to be the $2,000 plus evaluation of the services that they might need.
That's fair.
Whereby it might not even exceed 4,000.
Right.
Well, I'm just trying to cap it so that we have an idea of what we're doing here.
What it might exceed.
Okay. Right.
I believe in the past it was over 4,000, but I could be wrong.
But I don't know, but I
don't
think
know.
you should.
I don't know 100%, but.
In my mind, it should be
it's
the
been
2,000 that we've already dedicated to it, and whatever necessary after the fact.
At the mayor's request, motion rescinded and motion remade to include the 2,000 which you already have in place, plus whatever the overture will be, and I'm sure they'll be honest about it. So I'm good with that.
Well,
No, of course.
management will do it.
So it's 2,000 plus whatever the cost of Public Works and Police is.
Over and above.
Yeah.
Over and above. Yeah.
Okay.
And I second that again.
Okay, I have first and second. You something wrong with that? Well, I don't know. I don't think it needs to be amount not to exceed, because it's only going to
not
be
gonna
for
be.
the facilities that they need. So they have an idea what it's going to be. Okay. I mean, if
No, I agree. And you know what? If it comes back at 12,000, I'm sure it'll come back to us.
It's gonna
So,
come
yeah,
back
yeah.
to us to
No,
approve it.
Not for that though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just asking for the in-kind services.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
If it's
in-kind
4,000,
service.
you already had the 2,000 budget, and it'll be another 2,000. If it's 5,000, 2,000.
That's fine.
Correct.
That's all we're asking.
I got a first and a second.
You do.
Call the vote.
Vice Mayor Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilman Best.
Aye.
Councilwoman Zapata,
Yes.
Councilman Petrolanda.
Yes.
Mayor Bay.
Yes.
Thanks, Carl.
Thank you very much.
I just want to say something about this. This is the kind of event that, it's within the community, for the community, and it draws people in the circle and near the farmers market. It's like what this community is about. So I think that's why we have no hesitancy in saying, yes, we're going to move forward with enthusiasm. So
No, I
thank you for
appreciate it.
doing
It's
that.
a lot of fun. If you've
Plus,
been
you
to-
have the 5K run with it.
Right, we did it last year. We had the 5K run, but they had somebody else sponsor. We decided to sponsor this year.
Cool.
So we can raise money for the Chad Tuff Foundation. Before I go, I know it's a little bit off the topic. Remember this Saturday from 6 to 11 at
The wine.
the Wine and Cheese with the Jazz. I'm hoping to see all y'all there. It's going to be a nice event. And I can't,
What's the attire?
just casual.
Formal, Bill.
Formal, yeah.
Yeah, for you formal, but for everybody else it's
Necktie.
casual. We just want to see you in formal.
Okay.
But everybody else is casual. But it's going to be a good event, and I can't stress how good the band is, and I believe that Joe Donato's going to perform with them for a couple
Oh, wow,
songs.
good.
So it's going to be really nice. Like I say, it's $40 for a couple and $25 for an individual. I have tickets if you need them. I don't know if you have it. Well, you have a lot
But
of meetings.
we can't do that up here, exchange money up here. Have to wait till after we get off the dais.
But anyway, this will be a nice event. The band will come on at 8, so before that we'll hobnob around and drink the wine, and we have different, meats and stuff to eat. It'll be a fun time.
We had a good time
Okay?
last time.
Yeah, we did. Okay, thank you all very much.
Say anything?
Oh,
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
Go
Well,
ahead.
since we had the open forum speaker
mic
address the
down for you.
5K,
There you go.
I'll just make sure that I would love to have the issue of the Sebastian Strong race and have 1,000 runners, which is why the roads were closed for so long. We might have 125, so it's a very quick, traditional route from the circle, same one that they use for the River Cities 5K. So last year we were very, I think we had 3 officers, and basically the roads reopened as soon as the last person crossed. And if we have anybody slow, as in walking, we basically don't even let them finish the race. We force them to finish and walk down the median of Curtis Parkway. So we don't keep the roads closed very long at all.
There you go. Thank you.
Okay.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you. The run that was that weekend, I don't know if the last number I saw was 888 people.
It was just shy of 1,000, yeah.
Yeah, and so I don't think that the participation was so great that I think it was
That it would-
something
that it would
they didn't
cause that
know
much of a-
because there was a lot of signups after the fact. Okay, now we go. Okay, we're going to go in order now.
8A.
8A, second reading of an ordinance.
8A is an ordinance of the City of Miami Springs, Florida, amending Section 150-034 of the City Code of Ordinances and renaming same from installation of central air conditioning and heating units, pool pumps and equipment, and sprinkler pumps and equipment to installation of mechanical equipment, providing for complex, providing for severability, providing for inclusion in the code, and providing for an effective date.
I open this up for anybody wishing to speak on this item. This is a public hearing. I see that we're all excited out there, so I'm going to close the public hearing and entertain a motion.
Motion to move.
Second.
Any discussion? Call a vote.
Vice Mayor Mitchell?
Yes.
Councilman Best?
Aye.
Councilwoman Zapata?
Yes.
Councilman Petralanda?
Yes.
Mayor Payne?
Yes, we go to 8B, second
8B.
reading of an ordinance.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Miami Springs, Florida, amending Chapter 150 of the City Land Development Code to define, permit, and regulate medical marijuana dispensaries licensed by the state of Florida, providing for implementation, providing for incorporation into the code, providing for severability, providing for conflicts, and providing for an effective date.
Should I open it up or should we discuss it? Should I open it
I
up?
think you should all.
Mayor, if you want
Is what we
to do the
discussed?
motion to defer, then you can do that.
Okay, we had a discussion about this
We did.
before the meeting. No,
Oh.
of some of the things that are written in the state statute that's come forward, and what I'd like to defer this because I'd like to put a supplement into there, which would state.
The supplement would effectively authorize the council to allow medical marijuana dispensaries within the 500-foot range, so long as it's approved through a conditional use type of approval. So it would be a special exception or some kind of conditional approval that would allow the council to consider it. So we want to have the option to write that into this proposed ordinance and bring it back at the next council meeting for the council's consideration. So a motion to defer would be.
Through the chair, Haiti, is this, can this be passed on first reading tonight with that speculation, or must it be physically written?
So we're on second reading, and I think it would be just best to bring it back with the actual language that we would have.
Heidi, what's the reason for that? We had already agreed,
Hmm.
so I'm confused. Is this something that has happened since the last meeting where we said it would be a 500 feet from any school?
I think the consideration is that there's a process in the state law that authorizes the council. There's not a whole lot that a council or
whether it's the city or a county can do with respect to regulating medical marijuana dispensaries. But the state statute does authorize the board to adopt a regulation that would allow specific locations. I don't want to call it a variance, but like a variance, come before the council and request approval to have the dispensary within that 500-foot limit. So,
Okay, so let me, just to clarify, what we had agreed to at the last meeting was that dispensaries would not be allowed within 500 feet of schools. Is that correct?
And that's what's written in the ordinance that's before you.
Okay. And so if we vote on that tonight, then dispensaries would not be allowed within 500 feet of any schools in K through, is it K through 12?
Correct.
In Miami Springs. What you're asking, if we defer it, is for us to allow
An exception.
Go ahead.
an exception
Exception to
in
the 500
in that even if we say 500 feet, that we could, with a variance, allow dispensaries to be within 500 feet.
Not necessarily through a variance, but a process similar to
Process,
it.
okay.
And so the restriction to the 500 feet, as it is in the ordinance that's before you, that would remain. What we would do is add some kind of procedure that if, for whatever reason, somebody, an applicant came before the city and wanted to do this within 495 feet, for example, they're 5 feet away, have them come before the council to make a finding as to whether that's in, and the state law provides that it has to be within the public's, the general safety, welfare, and health of the city. So the council would go through a process and basically a hearing to determine whether that application should be allowed.
But
so
someone-
it gives what it really would do is give the council some wiggle room to be able to make a determination based on a fact-specific situation.
But someone could also, instead of saying they'd want something within 495 feet, they could come and say they want something within 50 feet. And we would be allowed to vote 3 to 2 for
and that
that.
would go before the council. I mean, we haven't drafted that provision,
Mhm.
it just came up, but it would allow the council to consider it. And it would come before you. So
Mhm.
if an applicant came before the council and said, I want to locate my dispensary within 50 feet of a school, then that application would come before the council would consider it and vote it up or down based on the findings of that specific application.
Okay, and if we were to vote tonight, not defer it, vote tonight so that no dispensary would be allowed within 500 feet of any K through 12 school, then in the future, should that issue come up, it could come up as a change to the ordinance also, right?
That's
So, all right, so I would like to not defer it and just vote on it tonight.
If the council is going to do that, I would recommend that the public hearing be open.
Well, first I'm gonna ask for a motion to defer. If we get a motion to defer, we'll defer. If not, we'll go ahead and open the public
For
hearing.
discussion, is it reasonable that somebody that wanted to install one of these dispensaries would do this within 50 feet?
I have no idea what it
No,
would-
I'm just asking if
what the reasonableness would be as to a specific dispensary.
I can understand the 500 to the 495, but 50?
It's on Westward Drive near our schools.
There is
500
no-
feet is half a
Yeah.
football
We
field. I
have-
mean,
we
that's
have,
a long ways.
There's no businesses near a school that's 50 feet away.
I don't think so.
No.
Okay,
That's why I'm
100
asking.
feet. What I'm saying is it's not 495 that they could ask for a variance. They could ask for a variance if they wanted to.
Vice Mayor, you got to remember, this is medicine we're talking about. This is not recreational marijuana. So you got to keep that in
I would
mind.
like to remind you that the states that started with medical marijuana are now into
Well-
recreational, so it's the first process before it becomes recreational. That's
I'm
pretty
dealing
much
on
been
what
established.
I'm dealing on what I have
That's
in
true.
front of me right now. If that comes later, then we have to vote on that later.
We need
But
to look
right
in the
now, this is
future.
what we
Well,
have.
we're sitting on here. It's incumbent upon us to use current experiences and look into the future.
I have a question. Why did the change come up to begin with? Because the wiggle room here seems to be for the people establishing these places, not for the council.
So
That's the point.
So
I
yeah.
think a way of looking at it is this is meant to be for the community. It's supposed to be an establishment that services your residents, your visitors, whoever is seeking this type of medical treatment within the area. So you may have, I mean, conceivably you may have an application that comes before you where, you know, with the 490 feet or 495 feet, whatever the example is, and the council is going to make the determination as to whether or not that is in the public's best interest.
I understand what you're saying, but why now in the second reading did this come up?
I've wanted to, for me, what I was, when they went into the office, they were going, this fact is that within this, with what I was read in the state statute, is the fact that these facilities are supposed to be treated as a pharmacy. And I felt that there should be some kind of a mechanism in as I stated the first time we put this out. I always felt that there should be a mechanism in the ordinance that should allow, without, it's a shame we have to use the word variance, but there's not a variance. It's somewhere has to come up and make a presentation to this board. It wouldn't go through a subcommittee or anything. It would come to this board to recommend whether that particular residence or whatever place should be could have the opportunity to present it to us, and we say yay or nay. That's why it's here tonight. If you're not going to defer it, I'm just putting these are my thoughts. I look at this as the fact that 70% of the people in the state of Florida voted for this, and I understand her, Councilwoman Mitchell's reservations, but in reality, it's not our call. We always talk about here about having the right to vote and what the vote is to be. We have the right to vote on something, and if a majority of the people vote for something, then it should be put into, it should be applied to what they voted for. These are my thoughts. So what I thought was, if we have a mechanism to allow alcohol, liquor, beer and wine to get a variance within 500 feet of a church or a school, I think there should be some type of mechanism for this situation too. And that's a variance. This is going to be something that is a case by case, where it would not set any precedent, in my mind, would not set any precedent for anything but a case by case basis. Now, I'm looking for a deferral. If we do not get a deferral, we'll vote on the ordinance as it stands. So, do I have a motion to defer it?
Motion to defer, please.
I would like some more discussion first before the motion.
Well, let's get the motion and then we can discuss. That's by the Robert Rules of Law.
You're right.
I don't have a motion to defer it?
I just have.
Well, I have a motion, but I don't have a second. Okay, I'll just say it falls on no second.
Through the chair, for discussion, I'm sorry, the Vice Mayor had something to say before I did.
No, that's fine. We're not deferring it.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to open up for the public hearing.
May I mention before you do?
Go ahead.
I'm just sitting here thinking, and hopefully everybody in chambers here is thinking too. Does there logically exist a place in Miami Springs that's 500 feet from a school where something like this can happen? I think it's a non-issue. I think it's a no-brainer.
Okay. I open up this for the public hearing. Go ahead. It's a public hearing.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Neri Owens, Corridon Drive. As a resident, I don't want any medical marijuana facility at all within 1,000 feet of our school. Our children are impressionable. They're not always constantly supervised, and they could easily wander into one of these medical marijuana places and purchase or experiment or whatever. I think that you need to pass this only because the crazy people in Tallahassee voted for it.
No.
Right. It was passed law by Tallahassee. It was not passed by this body, by you.
It was
That's
passed
by
the
referendum.
voters-
By the
voters
voter.
of the state of Florida.
Referendum.
Only 70% voted for it?
70%. It passed 70%. I mean, you're telling that to people that voted for it, that
The
you made
majority.
a statement that they're not very smart.
Well,
Is public forum for
in my opinion,
to hear
they're
her?
not very smart because I put young people ahead of everyone else. They're the future of the country. And the states like Colorado that have it both recreational and medicinal have plenty of issues with police, with children. You know, we're not going to find out for 20 years what the effect of this is. So for you to allow a variance when nothing has come up yet, it's still going to come to you to change the ordinance. You need to pass it as is. I don't agree with passing it as is, but, you know, we have no choice, like you said, Mayor. But for me, I don't think it's right. I would not want to see it even along your 36th Street corridor. And yes, Mr. Best, Councilman, you could have it on Westward Drive, close to one of your charter schools, close to Miami Springs Elementary. You could have it on Palmetto or South Drive, and it would be close to some other school or Brownie location or where kids gather. So I think we need to think about this, but if you're going to make a variance process, I don't think we need to go there yet. You have the option of doing that by altering and changing the ordinance later. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? You want?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Eileen Vega. I live in 220 Lawn Way, and I didn't expect to come up here since this came up. I do have a question out of curiosity. If you were to approve this, because I'm not too well versed in the law, would you be able to put a limitation to how many licenses or permissions or permits you would allow to have dispensaries?
That's on the, isn't that part of the?
Let her finish, and then we'll answer your
My
question.
first question is that, would
we'll
there be a
answer
limit,
it.
like you can only have 5 in Miami
We'll
Springs, you
answer
can
it.
only have 1? I don't know.
We'll answer
And
it.
then the second one would be, would this only be a commercial license, or could someone have a dispensary in their house? I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know that
No.
question either.
Okay.
I don't know how that works.
All right. Anything else?
No.
Okay.
That's it.
The attorney will answer them too for me.
As to the first question, the state law provides right now that a city that does not ban dispensing facilities, and I'm reading from the actual state law, a city that doesn't ban dispensing facilities may not place specific limits by ordinance on the number of dispensing facilities within the city. So we, as a city, we cannot adopt an ordinance that bans, that specifies the number of dispensing facilities. So as to your second question, there are, I really don't think that this is something that's happening out of somebody's home. There are, the chief is also agreeing with me.
No.
I don't know what kind of license
state
it is.
is regulating this at a state level. There are a limited number of licenses that the state is issuing, and so there's not, I don't know the exact numbers, but there are not, there's 70 licenses?
Oh, there's 7,
Seven.
I guess for lack of better terms,
She has one.
authorized companies that are permitted in the state of Florida to cultivate, dispense. There's only 7 companies in the state of
Yeah,
Florida.
one was just added last week, if
It
I'm not
was?
mistaken.
Okay, so we're up to 8. We're up to 8.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. Anybody else wish to speak on this?
You want to speak?
Mayor, I have a question.
Okay. Okay. All right. Does that close the public hearing? We entertain a motion.
Through the chair, a motion to move as written.
I don't,
I second,
Okay.
as tonight, to vote?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's written.
I second it.
Yeah.
now, do pharmacies have the same restrictions that they can't open a pharmacy less than 500 feet from a school?
I don't know that the same restriction applies for pharmacies, but the state law preempts the cities and counties from limiting the distances.
The 500 feet is one of the criteria of what you can do
Right.
within allowing it in your city.
From
the
the
interstate,
state.
yeah.
From the state.
It's in,
Okay.
it's in the thing. Okay, I got a first and a second. Call a vote.
Vice Mayor Mitchell?
Yes.
Councilman Best?
Aye.
Councilwoman Zapata?
Yes.
Councilman Petrolanda?
Yes.
Mayor Bain?
Yes. Okay, we got, that's ordinance, 8C.
8C is an ordinance of the City of Miami Springs, Florida, amending Section 31-11, purchasing, procurement, and sale procedures of the city's Code of Ordinances, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, providing for inclusion in the code, providing for implementation, and providing for an effective date.
I call this as another public hearing. I open it up for anybody who wishes to speak on this item. Nobody wishes to speak on this item. I close the public hearing. I'll entertain a motion.
Through the chair, motion to move 8C.
Second.
Any further discussion? Call a vote.
Vice Mayor Mitchell?
Yes.
Councilman Best?
Aye.
Councilwoman Zapata?
Yes.
Councilman Petrolanda?
Yes.
Mayor Bain?
Yes. Now we go to 11A, resolution.
Are you going in order?
10A.
If you're going in order.
Have we at all?
Yes.
10A's right. Spot on.
I circled it, that's
Tammy's
why.
all over it.
10A. This is about the bike path, the naming for Mr. Cavalier. Ferrer Cavalier.
At the October 9th, 2017 council meeting, the council discussed several options to honor former Mayor John Cavalier Jr. The city council chose option number 2, naming the Westward Bike Path from the Circle to the Library as the Cavalier Jr. Bike Path. Attached is a resolution for consideration that designates that portion of the Westward Bike Path to the Cavalier Jr. Bike Path.
I just want to make one statement on this. The people who asked me to defer this from last meeting, as you see, that nobody showed up. But the request was, there was some requests. Well, you're laughing at me all the time for it. The request was that I to consider the circle for his naming the circle. I'm not going to make a big thing about it because it's up to the four of you. But I think the man, as a mayor and what he did for the city, I think that we're, in my mind, it's a little bit under what he deserves to have named after him. And I would, we were talking earlier about the circle's name, and remember, even though it's something you can always put another name on, you know, what's the word when you put a name? We discussed, what was it? Yeah, so I would like y'all to consider that. If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Through the chair, can you kind of go a little further with where you're going with this?
Well, there's some, besides, from what I'm told, besides, you know, he sat up here for 16 years, and his family did a lot of great things for this city. And you know, I think sometimes we have one person that we seem to be very interested in, and we do a lot of things for, and that's Glenn Curtis. But I think somehow we lose, in our city, we lose history for people that, the relevancy of what people have done after that fact. And I just look at it in that way. There have been people that express this to me. This is my thought. But I thought, like the marijuana situation, I thought I'd give it my last shot to see if the council would consider the circle, to name the circle after him. And I understand there might be some advantages to that, as far as it pertaining to be possibly a public park or public domain, where there might be different kind of funds that maybe could come out of that.
So what you're suggesting then is that if we were to undo this and kind of regroup and come back forward with something naming the circle after Mr. Cavalier,
right.
Then we would have to discuss what that modem would be in terms of, would it be a plaque, would it be a sign, how would you possibly, you know?
Yeah. If you know.
You know what? I
If you want to, I mean, if you want to consider it,
I've
yes,
got- I have-
we
I
can
have-
think
I have no
because
pro-
I think that Mr. Cavalier is looking down here and say, you know, you don't have to hurry.
well,
Are you saying in lieu of then from the circle to the bike path, just either
Just
the
the circle.
circle
Just the
or
circle.
okay?
Just the
Personally, I like the bike path because he was on the committee for the
Right.
bike path project, so I think it's pretty fitting. He worked very hard to
but
start the bike path,
I
but
know
the circle
the
is
circle-
also a central
Yeah,
part. So.
you know, the Cavalier Circle sounds.
I
very
don't, I don't know
nice.
how my colleagues feel about this, but I have no problem considering the mayor's request and possibly backing up on this and bringing it back to us.
Do I have anybody else who would? You agree? You go with that?
Yeah.
Go with that? It's okay with you?
To defer it, is that where we're going?
No, we're gonna go ahead and explore naming the circle after him.
Yeah, that's mine. That's
Okay.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I
That's-
appreciate it.
That's what you want, right? I mean,
Yes,
that's your
thank you.
request.
I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
So we defer this
Yes,
until the
and then
next
we're
meeting,
gonna
and then we'll
up
come back with ideas on
what
the circle.
ideas of what we're gonna do on the
Okay.
circle for him.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. I appreciate your listening. All right, we go to 11A.
This is a resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of Miami Springs, Florida, approving a theatrical services agreement with Pelican Playhouse, Inc., authorizing the city manager to execute the agreement, providing for implementation, providing for an effective date. I just wanted to point out in the memo from that you have in your packet from Omar, the recommendation is Pelican Playhouse, Inc. and their staff have done a great job of providing a first-class professional program productions. They also have a great working relationship with the Recreation Department and the community. It is recommended that we approve the attached agreement. Pelican Playhouse is a very popular theatrical program that provides our community with an opportunity for our children and adults to enjoy first-class production in our very own Miami Springs Community Center. Proposed agreement is for 1 year from October 1st, 2017 to September 30th, 2018. City agrees to pay Pelican Playhouse, Inc., and this is a typo. That should be $24,000, not $15,000. For its services being rendered to the city pursuant to this agreement, the aforesaid amount shall be payable as follows: October 1st, 2017, $8,000; February 1st, 2018, $8,000; and June 1st, 2018, another $8,000. The city further agrees to disperse to the Pelican Playhouse the balance of the $5,000 budgeted for fiscal year 17-18 by the city for equipment repairs that remain unused as of September 30th, 2018. And again, this is the amount that was approved in this year's budget for a total of $29,000.
Correct. Thank you for correcting that.
Yeah, good point.
Okay, I need a motion.
Through the chair, motion to move item 11A on the agenda.
Second.
Any further discussion? Call the vote.
Vice Mayor Mitchell?
Yes.
Councilman Best?
Aye.
Councilwoman Zapata?
No.
Councilman Petralanda?
Yes.
Mayor Bain?
Yes. We go on to a resolution.
11B is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Miami Springs amending the schedule of golf charges and fees for the operation of the Miami Springs Golf and Country Club, reserving the right and authority to amend or supplement the schedule of charges, effective date. Again, this is what we do annually to approve the winter rates for the golf course.
I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Changing the times according to the season.
Yes.
Wait, I
The
got a
rates.
motion to
I'm sorry.
approve. Yeah, you got a
Second.
second? All right, go ahead, discuss.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that what we're changing is because of the season.
That's
This is,
correct.
okay.
That's correct.
Mayor,
Go
I
ahead.
have a request I want us to think about. I'd like to see if we can implement the same program that we have at the rec center and at the aquatic center for the seniors during the week, between the hours of 9 and 11, or to determine days there are no special events and holidays. See if our seniors are allowed to play for free, just like they can go in the aquatic center certain times and at the rec center.
Councilman, I think we have provisioning in there for that some of the time already.
Do we?
We have discounted rates for certain times of the day.
I think
We've never offered free golf at the golf course for seniors or any of that. Remember, we're a business and we're trying to break even. But what I can do is I can talk to Paul and see if there's anything or how he feels about it, or any recommendation he has on it. It's a big difference at the aquatic center when you're talking about a $4 entrance fee and providing than a golf course when you're talking, especially in the morning when that's our peak times for revenues. But I'll talk to Paul and see if there's certain times of the day that maybe we can provide a further discount for seniors. But I can talk to him and come back to you with a
Because we have to keep in mind these seniors are picking up the tab for the golf course.
What age are you saying is a senior?
Whatever age
I
we
think the city,
determine.
no, we've
No, I mean-
we define
No.
that in the thing.
65,
It's
67.
60. I think according to the
It's
city,
60.
it's 60
Yep.
for the.
60.
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe we can
60.
say the first 10, as first come, first served. I think it's something good we can
Well,
do
you,
for our
yeah, but you're
seniors.
going to get like 20 people in their 70s lining up to see who's going to do it. I mean, come on.
Well, I just wanted to mention that I know Paul offers, and I've been meaning to go. I haven't made it yet. On Wednesday nights, a free golf clinic and golf classes and stuff, and it sounds great, and that's for the whole community.
Right.
So I hope to take advantage of it one day.
I thought we had it in there already, and correct me
Well-
if I'm wrong, that like if you didn't use a cot on certain seniors between time and time,
Yeah, but I think
for
that's
free,
more-
totally for free.
That's more in the summer. I think there's some of that's more in the summer, but I
Okay.
don't think during the season.
Alright.
But anyway, I'm 61 and I can't see myself not paying to go play golf. But that's me. But I think we can have it looked
Right.
into.
Maybe a little older, 67, something,
Yeah, let's make it a
I
little
think
older.
maybe just inquiring of Paul, like what days are like really slow
If
that
it's
he could
possible.
that he could accommodate
Right.
a window.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's bring him into the
Okay.
negotiation.
All right, I got
see
a
what
first
he
and a
wants.
second on what we're going here. We're going to go ahead and research that.
Yeah, bring in Paul.
I need I got a first and second. I'll call a vote.
Vice Mayor Mitchell?
Yes.
Councilman Best?
Aye.
Councilwoman Zapata?
Yes.
Councilman Petrolanda?
Yes.
Mayor Bay?
Yes. Dang it. 11C.
11C is a resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of Miami Springs, Florida, selecting Limousines of South Florida, Inc. as a provider for the city shuttle bus service, waiving competitive procurement requirements, providing for authorization, providing for implementation, and providing for an effective date. The recommendation by staff that council waive the competitive bid process in the best interest of the city and authorize the city manager to negotiate an agreement piggybacking onto the city of South Miami's agreement, which is Exhibit A, with Limousine of South Florida, Inc., LSF, consistent with proposal number 1 provided by LSF, which is Exhibit B, in an amount of $54 per hour for the use, maintenance, and operation of a used shuttle bus, and authorize the manager to select a company to design, produce, and install a full-body wrap unique to the city of Miami Springs, as per the sample photo provided as Exhibit C, to be placed on the new shuttle by LSF prior to it being put into operation, as funds were budgeted in the fiscal year 17-18 budget pursuant to Section 3111 E6G of the City Code. And as you know, the funding for the shuttle bus comes from the CITT fund.
A motion?
Motion to move item 11C.
Second.
Any further discussion?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Take 11B
William.
for mayor. Yeah.
All right, you have 3 options. I'm thinking option 1 would cost us $154,440. I kind of like to see if we can just consider option 3, because option 3 gives us the bus. I wrote the bus about a month or 2 ago. The bus is really raggedy. I'm not sure what the difference between 1 and 3 would be as far as cost, because it's $6 more than option 1, $6 more per hour. So I don't know what the difference would be. Could you tell me that?
The problem is that the funds we have allocated from CITT, you can only use 20% for this type of service. And right now, with the amount that we're getting from them and the amount we're getting from VG, it about covers the amount that we're asking for, the $154,000. Anything over that, we would have to fund out of the general fund.
How much would that be?
What's an
What-
additional 6 hours?
It's like $4.
Councilman, could I ask you, what is it that you think it's a better bus, or what
Well,
is
we
the
got
difference
a new
in
bus. That's
a newer bus?
Have you?
No, it's a
have
new.
you wrote it?
It's a new bus.
It would be a new bus. It would purchase
be
a
a
new
new-
bus for us for $6 more an hour, because that one they're writing now is pretty raggedy.
And what are the hours? Is this weekdays only
Yes.
that
It's
it
a-
runs?
yeah, it's Monday through
yeah,
Friday.
Friday,
So
yes.
$6 more an hour. We can figure that out right now,
And-
probably.
And I want to share with
For what,
everyone
40
here
hours
that
a
we're
week?
not ready yet, but I'm working with Commissioner Sosa, Commissioner Bobo, Rene Garcia, Senator Rene Garcia, because I want to implement another leg to this, and there's a whole big puzzle coming along. I'm not there yet to present it, but I think we should have at least one new bus if the funds.
And added to that down the road is something that we've discussed with the Greater Miami Visitors and Convention Bureau of if the shuttle bus could make stops at the hotels,
Right.
then
That's part of the
getting the
big plan,
guests from the
yes.
hotels to come to Miami
Exactly.
Springs and frequent our restaurants, our shops and stuff as something for them to do on their second or third day
Absolutely.
here.
That's part
So
of
that
the
would
big
be great.
the big plan, along with the bike
Sharing.
idea that you had.
Right.
So this is a big major plan that we're kind of working with. Tammy's involved too.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as we have something down, concrete, I'm gonna bring it up to council. But I think if the amount is not that much, I think we should go with a new bus.
It's about $17,000 more.
And why would you have to take that 17,000 out of the
general fund.
general fund? Why couldn't you still take it out of the CITT?
Because remember, we're limited to 20%.
Oh, you're only allowed.
Only 20% can go for the shuttle.
You're not allowed to pay more for it.
No.
You- it
Well, you're allowed to spend up to 20%.
Right.
And our 20% with the BG portion comes out to about 154,000. So that's it for that. So the additional 17 would have to come from the general fund.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody has written that bus. The bus is old, and if we want to do what you're saying and what I want to do, having that old bus might not.
I agree. I think it's
Well-
important. It's an image for our city, and it's
Well, I
you know,
gotta
that's
go
part
ahead.
of.
I gotta go
Let
ahead.
me,
I just want to point out to you that we are not going to be getting the same bus. We have been offered a demo bus that would have at least less than 30,000 miles, according to Limousines of South Florida. So we will not be getting the same shuttle bus.
Right.
And I agree with you. This shuttle bus does break down quite frequently, and that's why you'll see the trolley running around here. But yeah,
So it'll be a different bus.
it would be a different bus. I can't guarantee you it's not going to have some other problems.
It's not going to
but
be a new bus.
It will not be a new bus. It's going to be a demoed bus, and he promised that it'll have less than 30,000 miles on it, which 30,000 miles is,
On a bus is nothing.
you know,
I don't know. I still think we should go with a new bus, but it's up to everyone
No,
else.
I'm not ready to vote for a new bus.
Not for 17
I'd
grand,
say
no.
let's try. I'm willing to try if it's a newer bus. I mean, we already know that one's old.
Not
But
Yes,
if they're
it
going
is.
to give us a demo bus, it's in better condition.
Do I get a
I have-
first and second on
Wait.
this?
I have more discussion,
but
too.
Let's say we go with the demo bus, and it's still not where we need to be. Can we come back again and vote?
Sure. Sure you could.
Yeah, I mean, but why not just get it right now?
I'm not
Council can
sure that
offer-
we'd be obligated to go into another
Contract.
extended year,
Yeah,
So
you
we
don't
haven't
know.
seen the
because
bus.
we're obligated right now to have a 3-year contract with some option renewal years, so I think it's a 5-year in total. So, I mean, I'm not sure if they'd start a brand new 5 years from there.
So you haven't seen the bus.
We have not seen the bus.
Right, so it could be another raggedy bus with 30,000 miles. I still think it's the image of the city. It's something that we're trying to promote.
And
get
I would
people off the
suggest if you
cars.
want to change it, do it now, only because also by voting on this tonight, you're giving the manager the opportunity to work with another company to do the entire wrap of the vehicle. So once we wrap that vehicle, we don't want another investment of another to have to wrap another vehicle.
The other alternative is maybe put it out to bid and see if we can get
Sorry.
another company that gives us a better rate and with a new bus.
There's only 2 out there.
Well, right now, and that was a discussion that I had with Limousine South Florida, there are only currently 3 other companies. There are 2 plus Limousines of South Florida. However, the difference between Limousines of South Florida and the other 2 is the other 2, we would have to buy the bus outright. They do not offer used bus systems, used buses for the same price. They do offer the services, the maintenance service, the drivers, etc., but we would be in the same situation. We'd have to buy the bus outright.
Okay, so that answers my question as to I was going to ask why we're not going for competitive or asking for other bids with other companies.
They are, in my memo, I think I even specified how many other municipalities in Miami-Dade County are
Uses
using,
them, yeah.
are using.
Can we, though, to Councilman Petrolanda's point, can we put something in the contract saying that the bus has to be in
Good shape.
it has to be in above average condition?
Right.
Well, what we can do before they sign the contract with them is have them show us the bus that they're gonna offer us. Sure.
And that
So
we
can,
that we agree upon a bus, that we
Right.
agree on a selected vehicle, we just don't accept something that, you know, and that what we wanted is something that is worthy of the image of our city.
Well, it's going to have brand new wrapping on it, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be
Yeah.
brand new wrap, so.
But I think you're talking about the inside,
Yeah,
right?
the interior.
No, the outside.
Interior,
The
everything.
outside's going to be brand new wrapped. The
Right, right.
interior.
But
You
brand
showed
new
a
wrap
picture of
after
the
we
one.
approve.
I
the-
know, yeah, they're gonna take,
I don't see
we're
it.
gonna go ahead and do this, and they're,
not here.
of course, our staff is gonna look at the bus
I like to look
before
at
we
it,
get
too.
it.
We
When
like
the
to
bus
look at it.
comes in, make sure that Jaime's there to
Yes.
check the shift.
Yes.
First right of refusal.
Okay?
Please, yes.
All right, I got a
Because
first
I'm
and a-
I'm working on something that is going to benefit
And I hope you get
four
it.
cities, and I really don't want a raggedy bus.
Okay, all right.
Just because we want to save $17,000.
Okay.
Well,
$17,000. As you know, I don't like
Oh,
going
a
out
lot
of
of
the
money.
what we have already budgeted. You know, I don't want to go into the budget for this.
There's no way of finding the money somewhere else in the budget. It doesn't have to be the
General fund.
I
What
guess.
else are you gonna do? I mean,
You want to?
Not the CITT money, but somewhere else in the budget. I said. I didn't say from there.
I think the issue too is that if the bus is not in nice condition, people may ride it once and they won't ride it again. And the whole purpose
that
of this
defeats,
and for
the advisory.
sustainability is to encourage people to consider riding the bus, sharing a ride instead of, you know, getting in their car to go somewhere and park within the city. So it's
I-
important that it's nice enough that you want to, you know, renew the experience over and over.
Exactly.
I think that you know what we have right now, and I mean this issue right here is focusing right on the administration in terms of their ability to determine if something like this makes sense or it doesn't. And so that's kind of what I'm looking at.
All right, I got a first and a second.
You do, sir.
Let's vote on it.
Mayor?
Before you, let me just pass this around so
Yeah.
you'll see the South Miami wrap on the outside of the bus. Ours is gonna look, we're gonna come up with a wrap for our bus that's gonna look more or less like that.
It's very nice.
Mayor, Mayor and Council, the resolution that you have before you is to authorize the manager to negotiate a contract consistent with option 1 of the proposal.
Correct.
So a lot of the details that the council is discussing tonight will be addressed in the contract.
Right.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Haiti.
Should have said it earlier.
She just did.
All right. Call a vote.
Vice Mayor Mitchell?
Yes.
Councilman Best?
Aye.
Councilwoman Zapata?
Yes.
Councilman Petrolanda?
No.
Mayor Bank?
Yes. We go to resolution D, 11D.
This is a resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of Miami Springs, Florida, approving an agreement with Bermelo Ajamil and Partners, Inc. for architectural and engineering services for the development of the city's senior center / multi-purpose facility, providing for authorization and providing for an effective date.
Entertain a motion.
Yeah, it's first reading, isn't it?
Oh, it's a resolution, Bob.
No, it's a resolution.
Oh, I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon, Mayor. I stand corrected. Motion to move the item, sir.
I'll second it.
Second it. Further discussion?
Yes, I want to share. I had a discussion with George regarding. I've been talking to the historical society. They're having a hard time finding a contractor to renovate their building. So I asked him if he could refer or even maybe take on the project themselves. So I am going to forward his information, his company's information, to the historical society folks. See if they can work something out. I mean, they did build the aquatic center, and now they're building their senior center. So I think they're the best choice, or at least to guide us and helping us get the senior center going. I'm sorry, not the senior center, the Historical Society Museum going.
Okay. All right. Call a vote.
Vice Mayor Mitchell?
Yes.
Councilman Best?
Aye.
Councilwoman Zapata?
Yes.
Councilman Petraranda?
Yes.
Mayor Bay?
Yes. We have 11E, discussion on limiting open forum time.
This is a memo from your city clerk, Erica. At the October 23rd, 2017 council meeting, the city council briefly discussed the possibility of limiting the time during open forum for speakers who sign up to address the council on various matters. The intent is to afford an equal amount of time to all speakers and to encourage more participation during the meeting. Staff is requesting direction from council on the following. Number one, if limiting the time on open forum, how long would you limit the speaker? 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and so on. Number two, if limiting the time would it be timed by a visible clock, by the mayor, or by the city clerk? And another issue to take up, I guess here is, are you limiting time only on open forum or on both open forum and agenda items?
Good point.
If I may, Mayor, the reason I asked for us to consider this is that it's very consistent with what other municipalities do. They limit the time for open forum and for public hearings. And the purpose of that is to encourage everyone. We want to hear from everyone. And sometimes when people see that there's several people signed up and they have no idea if someone's going to talk for an hour or half an hour or whatever, they wind up deciding not to stay for the meeting and not signing up to speak at a public hearing or an open forum. So this is a way to encourage everyone who wants to speak to know that, to get an idea of approximately how long it'll be before they speak, and that to encourage them to let us hear from them. I do think we should extend it to the public hearings also. And I've done kind of an informal survey of other cities to find out what their times are throughout Florida, and it seems like the majority of small municipalities have 2 to 3 minutes. I would suggest 3, even 5 minutes for us. I think that's plenty of time for someone to state what they need to, and also allow other members of the public to stay and get their say.
Well, I sit up here and I wonder, what other cities do. Why can't other cities do what we do? Why do I have to conform to how other cities do? I find it, the best example I can give you is a fellow like Paul Dotson, who might come to this council chamber once, maybe twice a year, and sits in this city. I'm going to limit him to 3 minutes. I don't know. My whole reason I became mayor was that I allow people to say what they have to say, and then I'll listen. I don't like the limit of time, because there's so many people that it's hard enough for them to come up here and talk. I mean, I was in that situation. Public speaking, it's like Mike, the police officer tonight. He wanted to have no part of up there on the microphone, and now you maybe can get somebody up here to talk, and you're making them even have a tougher. Just the opposite of what you say is they won't have they don't have enough experience or confidence to talk in front of us in the first place, and now you're making it, even in my mind, exceptionally hard, because they got to make sure they're under the 3-minute time limit. I don't think that we had that one meeting about the alley and we had a bunch of people come up and talk and express themselves. I would like to know how I would stop Martha. Was it Martha Kelly or
Martha Kelly? Yeah.
Martha Kelly. How would I stop her? Anybody up here stop her from doing her dissertation in 3 minutes? Buzz Fleischman come up here and talk. How are we going to tell Buzz Fleischman that he has 3 minutes? But again, you don't see these people about once or twice, 3 times a year. I would be dead against any type of time limit. I would just hope that the resident, when I would ask them to stop, would stop, but I'm not going to vote for any time limit.
Through the chair, I have a tendency to agree with some of what you said. As a matter of fact, probably most of it. I don't think you can legislate somebody's opinion, and I feel that it would be a grave disservice to the city and to this body that we do that. We do have contentious issues that come to us from time to time, as we're all aware, but I think there's the onesies and the twosies of those that abuse that as well, and you know, I think that can be controlled, and it's got to be controlled through the mayor's authority to do so. We've made changes to this in the past relative to decorum, and I think that's worked well. And fortunately, we haven't had any serious issues since that happened. So I'm afraid I would be against this in the best interest of people speaking their minds.
All right. You have no opinion, either one of you? If you don't, we'll just go ahead and...
I have an opinion.
Okay.
So I'm just thinking, I agree with Bob that usually when people come up and speak, they're speaking on these contentious issues. They're already not happy. And if you limit their time to speak, they're going to leave even more unhappy. So I'm not in favor of that because of that reason.
Okay.
I think there's times where you have to limit the time of people can speak. That's why you get paid the big bucks, man.
Okay. I'll try to do a better job. I'll try to do a better job. Okay? All right. We move on. We go to report on public use of fields. I think
Yes.
Omar's here, right?
Yeah, at the last meeting, you had requested a report, an update from Omar on the gentleman that spoke about the fields and use of the fields. And Omar's here. Unfortunately, Omar had written a memo to council and it never made it on the agenda, but I'll have Tammy read it to you before we get to Omar.
The Recreation Department met on Saturday, October 28th, 2017 at 9 a.m. with Mr. Mena and other residents, soccer patrons, to discuss options for field usage and availability. The meeting was very successful as we reached an agreement that allowed them to use Stafford Park on Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for the recreational soccer at a fee of $20 an hour. In the Parks and Recreation Department, we identify areas that are open to the public within our parks and areas that are not. All parks are unique in the amenities that are open to the park on a daily basis and what other amenities are available for rent should the space be available. PV Dove Park is open to the public at all times of the day. PV Dove Park does host Little League baseball games on occasion on Saturday mornings and practices during the week. However, when the Little League is not using the field, I've seen many park patrons use the park for kickball, flying kites, teaching children how to ride bike, flag football, frisbee picnics, batting practice with a son or daughter, micro soccer, etc. Prince Field has 2 baseball, softball fields that are predominantly used for Little League baseball year-round, and during the summer months for athletic field is used for flag football. The field is open to the public on Sundays and during the week. If the Little League Optimus flag football is not using it or if the field is not saturated from inclement weather. With that said, the staff is advised to not allow for any organized activities that would compromise the integrity of the field. Patrons are allowed to kick a soccer ball with their children, throw a frisbee, use the baseball field for infield or batting practice, throw a football, fly a kite, etc. The fields are also available for rent upon availability if anyone wants to use the fields for practice, etc. Prince Field is also an additional, has additional amenities such as a batting cage, 3 pavilions, and playground. The batting cage is available to the public if need be, and the pavilions are on a first-come, first-served basis. However, they are available for rent, and if a patron rents the pavilion, they will have exclusivity for their party. We encourage our patrons to rent the pavilions if it's not for I'm sorry, if it is for birthday parties. Please note the Prince Field is easier to supervise due to its proximity to the community center. Stafford Park. Stafford Park has 2 baseball fields, softball fields, and 2 soccer fields. These fields are used year-round except for the summer months. We usually try to shut down the fields for about 10 to 12 weeks during the summer for maintenance and field repairs. The field at Stafford Park is closed to the public for several reasons. The field is used almost every day for soccer. The wear and tear on the field on a daily basis is incredible. This is also used after school for flag football, soccer, and softball from our local schools. If we do not protect the field and give it rest, the field will start to deteriorate, and it will become a safety concern for the children that the use of the fields for games and practices. It has also cost the city an enormous amount of money to repair the fields. By closing the fields to the public, it has allowed us to provide our youth programs with a safe and beautiful field to our children to play on. The park also has the following amenities to the public: a walking path, a Vita course, playground, batting cage, pavilions for parties, etc. Discussion. Unfortunately, the city is limited with recreational green space, and one of our biggest challenges is providing practice/play time for our local youth sports, and also for our local schools for after-school sports programs. We don't have the luxury like other cities have that they have multiple fields within the city limits, and then they can rotate the youth programs within those fields. This allows for those athletic fields to get some rest, and it avoids the fields being overused. I've seen other cities that have practice field and game fields. The practice fields allows for the fields to be used every day for practice and open play. The game fields are only for games. There are a couple of options we can consider that could possibly address our issue. The first option would be to turf all of the athletic fields. This has some pros and cons, but in one way it would be avoid the constant wear and tear. Another option would be to consider looking at other options for green space within the city, with possibility of a park master plan. And Omar's here for any further discussion to his memo.
So question, turfing the fields, isn't that like super expensive?
Yes, it actually is very expensive. Very, very expensive. It has its pros and cons to it.
Also, there's a cleanliness part
Well,
of it too.
You have to still maintain it somewhat. My issue is more with injuries. I've noticed in the last FRPA we went to, there's a lot of injuries with torn ACLs on the turf, because if people want to go low bid, you get a cheaper product, which doesn't give as much on the knees and on the ankles when people are playing on it. The more expensive product that has a lot more give, when you plant and turn, it's more expensive. In government, we usually go lowest bid.
Right.
You get more injuries. So one of the discussions we had on FRPA was trying to go back to natural grass. A lot of cities went with turf because it was a phenomenon at that point in time, and people were doing it because they're saving dollars amount on maintenance. They don't have to worry about fertilizing, verticut, all that stuff. But now that 10 years have gone by, they've noticed a lot of injuries on the fields and things like that, a lot more than they had with natural grass. So that's one of the pros and cons. But there's still maintenance to it. And then
you're
sometimes
talking money
you-
and safety.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, it lasts anywhere between 7 to 10 years, depending on the product that you get. So in 10 years, you're looking at having to returf these fields again with artificial turf. So it's they're very nice. Don't get me wrong, very nice, and it'll alleviate a lot of our issues as far as people using the fields. But it has its pros and cons to it.
Omar, update them on your conversations with the school board as far as closing their fields.
During the process with the guys that play soccer, I was able to get in contact with a couple of contacts at the school board, and they're having the same issues we're having. They're shutting their fields down from the top of the school board, not even just here locally. It's coming from downtown, where basically they don't want to allow anybody to use their fields unless they're renting them.
One of them is they're having injuries on their fields on the weekends, and what happens is they say someone sprains an ankle or breaks a leg, they call rescue. Rescue sends the school board the police report, and they're like, oh wow, this happened on a weekend. And then they're getting sued because their fields are not in the greatest condition either. So since it's open and they're playing on it, people are getting hurt, they're suing the school board is losing money, they're not gaining any revenue by renting out the fields, plus there's getting damage that, which sometimes they've had, I think the field goal pole at the high school once was completely bent out of shape when they showed up on a Monday, they have broken glass in the dugouts, so they're having to provide maintenance to the fields, they don't have the funding for it, and then they're getting sued. So right now, from the top of the school board, they basically said shut all schools down to let public in there. And what they're hoping is that the people actually will then go and rent the fields, and they'll get a permit, and they'll provide insurance, and they'll get some revenue, and they're basically do the same thing we do.
Omar, did you find a process for someone should they want to rent the fields in the school? How can you, give them that information? Because we've got 3 different schools, middle school, a high school, and a
I refer them to the school principal.
Can we try to get a contact name or number so that if someone wants to look at that as an option, that we can kind of facilitate
Sure.
it for them, and they can rent it if they want to play soccer on,
Sure.
Saturday mornings or Saturday afternoons?
Sure, that's not a problem.
Omar, I got to tell you, all the years that we've lived here in this town, in the Northwest, that high school field where they practice, where the football team works out, and you got the girls softball plays there during their season. There's somebody out there every Saturday morning, different outfits. I've seen frisbee football leagues where different teams show up on. Certainly soccer. Plus, you got that swale area between Dove and Quail, which is FP&L easement deal,
Correct.
which is wide open. I mean, I think we can probably figure something out here.
Yeah. The organization, those guys, when I met with them, the Edsel, Mr. Mena that was here, they have been playing at the high school for almost 4 years.
Yeah, I mean,
it just happened to be that they showed up on a Saturday. There was a JV game, and then they were told they couldn't come back the next Saturday. And when they actually went back, they noticed the gates were locked. But they have been there for 4 years playing. On the weekends, I do drive through the parks a lot, and there is a lot of activity at the high school, a lot more than you would actually anticipate. There's either tackle football going on in the afternoons with the teenagers, which is a dangerous problem for us in the city. But if they're at the high school, I'm like, that's the high school's problem. But there's a lot of people there playing. I see people hitting batting practice all the time at the ball. I've
seen barbecues out there after games and stuff. I mean, guys are.
Yeah, I see a lot because I drive right by PV Dub all the time, so I see it all the time. But again, unfortunately that's not my problem. It's the high school's issue.
Exactly.
Anything else? Thank you for the report.
Thank
Good
you.
job
Thanks,
negotiating
Omar.
with them soccer players.
No problem.
You did a good job. Thank you.
Thank you, Omar.
All right, we go to 14F. No.
How about 12D?
12D.
Yes, sir.
12D is, you have a memo in your packet from City Clerk Erica regarding the cancellation of the November 27th and the December 26th council meetings.
Obviously, we're discussing Thanksgiving and Christmas, right?
Correct.
Motion to move.
Call the vote.
Vice Mayor Mitchell?
Yes.
Councilman Best?
Aye.
Councilwoman Zapata?
Yes.
Councilman Petralano? Mayor Bay?
Yes.
For discussion on it, I mean, we voted, but I just wanted to mention, Councilwoman Mitchell's request for the special meeting that we're going to have tomorrow night. If there's something that comes up, we can always fill in with a special call from the clerk to address any issues. So I don't think this is major league in terms of anything that we're going to
We
lose.
still have one meeting, though.
Yeah. December, early.
December 11th.
11th.
Right.
We're still gonna have one meeting.
Correct.
Okay. We go to city attorney. Anything?
Yes, Mayor, just one quick thing. We would like to call that we may be having an executive session with the council to discuss settlement negotiations and or litigation expenditures in the Sandra J versus the City of Miami Springs annexation lawsuit. That's the 2017-22564 case. And it's just, we have to announce it at a meeting that we might be doing this. So if in the event that we have to conduct an executive session between now And the next council meeting, we want to make sure that we've announced that
Thank you.
this would be occurring.
Thank you. Anything else? From the city attorney, anything else?
No, Mayor.
You were very nice, very good tonight. You did a good job.
Yes.
It's nice seeing you. It's nice seeing you higher than the other guy.
Oh, ouch.
Anything from you there? I'll give you
No.
first. Nothing?
No.
Councilman?
Yes. I just want to thank Bob, Councilman Best, for the MC and the councilman. I'm thanking you
Sorry.
for the great job you did on Saturday.
I appreciate that, sir. Thank you.
That's all
It
I
was,
have, man.
wasn't
Thank
about
you.
me, it was about the veterans.
Councilman Mitchell?
I wanted.
Vice Mayor? Vice Mayor?
Thank you.
Boy, you
Gary
boy.
Owens is always on top
That's
of
a second off next time you come up.
Thank you, Neri.
Sorry, excuse me. I don't see the plaque like you do.
I wanted to also thank Councilman Best for the Veterans Day ceremony, and also our City Council, Patty Brady and Bradley, excuse me, and William and everybody else who put it together. It was just a real Americana, Miami Springs moment, and a great tribute to our veterans. The other thing I wanted to ask, in view of what Joanne Koski mentioned with the closing of the streets, and I know we have the turkey trot coming up Saturday, can we look into it to make sure that I'm guessing that the numbers will be much less than
Correct.
Sebastian, but still it makes sense that, nobody should have to wait to, more than a few minutes to get to their house. Something reasonable. And the last thing is in view of the efficiency, the solar seminar that we're going to allow in January. That issue with the permitting, and I know South Miami, they kind of went very far in saying that, it's only solar energy, but there's a lot of other efficiency initiatives with, water reduction, toilets, and other things. Could we look into the permitting department offering some sort of initiative on permitting when something has a sustainability merit to it?
Mhm. That's something council
That's
is
fine. with
interested
me.
in.
I
yeah.
would reduce everything. But I've never got my way up here, but I would reduce everything.
But I think something
I
that
finally got somebody up here, maybe I can reduce some of this stuff, but I would reduce it all.
if it decreases energy use, if it decreases water use, if there's any sort of sustainability incentive toward the change they're making, if we can give them some sort of a
Okay,
break
well-
on the permitting.
We'll have it on the next agenda.
Let's do that. Yeah,
December
absolutely.
11th.
Good
sure.
thought. Good thought, Maria.
Anything else?
That's all. Thank you very much.
I don't know how that worked with the run. I forgot the name that they ran. Sebastian. But I don't know how that worked. But I was there. Happened to be. I didn't run or walk. But you all saw me. Yeah, I was running away, but you all saw me.
For 30 seconds, maybe.
I don't kind of know how it became 2 hours, because when you went by me, it was about 20 minutes, and then that street was open. So I don't know how it went that it took 2 hours for the other homes, but
I don't think it was.
I thought it was a fantastic thing, and
Really,
my
really
goodness,
nice.
to get 800 to 1,000 people at an event, we get 7 people here tonight, so. And Councilman Best, what a job he did at that ceremony, and I don't know how he does it, cutting lawns, and how he gets the time to
That's
write.
going away soon, by the way.
How he gets the time.
like what Carl Bithorn said earlier. Yeah.
This is a good council meeting. I appreciate all the participation.
Forgot William.
The manager. Manager's
No,
done.
I'm going all out of order.
I know. We've done that all night. There's nothing new here.
All
I
out of
mean.
order. Like that movie, no, you're out of order.
You're out of order.
All right, you have the floor.
Yeah, I just you took all the thunder away, but I
Okay,
just wanted to
then
thank.
we're gonna go home.
I wanted to thank the Dolphin game. Yeah. I wanted to thank all of you for the Veterans Day ceremony. It was great to have the entire council there. I think it's the first time in years
that I can ever remember
we've all
in all
been
the
there.
years that we've done it. Yeah.
You understand why?
Yeah, because you weren't hunting for a change.
No, you understand why it wasn't on a weekday.
Yeah.
You know,
that's true.
and I think that in the future on the weekdays, if you're going to have it, if it's possible to have it in an evening event, so that we can all go and you know, people have to work, you know, and
Well,
sometimes we
I
can't
was-
get out.
it was a great honor
Yeah.
for PFC Carter's mom to see
Yes.
his
Absolutely.
mom and the
That
two
was-
sisters
Absolutely.
there. It was way overdue.
Yes.
That honor. So I'm glad we did it. And Tammy's got a few events coming up.
Yes, tomorrow is the Community Shred Day from 4 to 7. It'll be held at the Community Center. Also, tomorrow night at 7 p.m., we have the joint workshop that
Oh, I
Councilman
wouldn't- yeah.
Best reminded us about. On November 15th, there's going to be a road closure for the natural gas test line. Basically, they have to do a gas test line for about 11.2 miles. And not necessarily that it's going to be within Miami Springs, but it may affect residents coming into Miami Springs because it'll be from starting from Milam Dairy Road, which is on 72nd Street, all the way. I'm sorry, 72nd Avenue. I'm sorry, and then heading all the way down south for 11.2 miles, and that'll be effective starting at midnight until 4 a.m. on the 15th. Also on the 18th is the Turkey Trot at 7 a.m. starting at the Community Center. December 1st is the Christmas at the Gazebo starting at 6 p.m.
The tree lighting.
And the tree lighting ceremony at the same on the same evening. December 9th is the Polar Express story time at 12 noon at the Aquatic Center. And also on the 9th is the car show and the toy drive at the Gazebo starting at 6 p.m.
Wow. Okay.
Quite a list of events.
It's a great time.
Yeah.
Great
This
time
of
for your
year.
Christmas lights up and go get a Christmas tree at the Optimist Club. Let's not forget that. And always let's say today that if you see somebody today and if you kind of don't like them or don't like her, or if you see somebody that you like or you do like, just smile. This meeting's adjourned.
Nobody brought up the Canes being number 2, huh?
Because I'm scared up here. These people might.
Oh, thank
I'm
God there wasn't.
alumni. I'm Kane alumni.
Either Tuesday or
Yes,
Wednesday.
sir.
You are, yeah.
Boy, you sure don't act like.
We have to, how much?
Experiences have been
So I love going there.
Oh, yeah? Oh. We have to get into her.
Come on.
Nope.